My beloved brothers and sisters, have you ever stopped to wonder why ants suddenly appear in your home? Most of us see them crawling across the floor or gathering around crumbs, and we rush to wipe them away. But pause for a moment. These are not just tiny insects passing by. In the wisdom of Allah, nothing happens without a purpose. Ants are part of the armies of Allah, and when they enter your home, it is not random. It can be a message, a reminder, even a warning for you and your family. Think about it. Allah chose to mention the ant in the Qur'an, giving us a glimpse into how they live, how they work, and how they speak. If Allah highlights the lessons in such a small creature, then surely when they enter our lives, we should reflect deeply. What are these ants trying to tell me? What does Allah want me to learn from them? Today I want you to open your heart and listen carefully, because when ants appear in your home, Allah may be warning you with 6 powerful signs that you cannot afford to ignore. 1. A reminder of discipline and unity. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you take a moment to observe ants, you will notice something truly remarkable. These are among the tiniest of creatures, yet they live with a discipline that many human beings struggle to maintain. They do not walk in chaos, nor do they move in random directions. Rather, they walk in order. They follow one another in straight lines, and they cooperate in such a way that every single member of their colony knows its place and role. If one ant discovers a piece of food, it does not keep it for itself out of selfishness. It leaves a trail so that others may follow, and together they gather more than what a single one of them could ever carry alone. They live with unity, with cooperation, and with a sense of responsibility that is shared by all. Not one of them tries to stand out or show off. Not one of them tries to break the order, and not one of them seeks to disrupt the line for its own benefit. Each one contributes to the larger purpose, and because of this, the entire colony thrives. When Allah allows ants to enter your home, it may not simply be about the crumbs they are following. It could be a silent but powerful reminder that your household may be in need of the very same discipline and unity that the ants display. Perhaps within your family there is disorganization, everyone doing what they want without any thought of how it affects the others. Perhaps there is conflict, constant arguing, and a lack of peace where each person insists on their own way without regard for harmony. Perhaps there is a lack of structure, where responsibilities are ignored, duties are not fulfilled, and order is missing from the way the home is run. Allah shows us through these ants that harmony brings blessing and disunity brings hardship. Just as the ants can gather food far greater than their size because of their unity, a family that lives with discipline and mutual support can achieve far more than each member could ever achieve alone. But when disunity enters, when selfishness takes over, when everyone begins to think only of themselves, then the entire family suffers. The home loses its peace, blessings are taken away, and what was once strong becomes weak. So the ants come to remind you, take a lesson from us. Just as we, though small and weak, can build great structures, survive difficult seasons, and store food for times of need because we stand together in discipline, you too can build a strong household if you live with unity, cooperation, and order. But if each one of you goes in a different direction, if each one of you seeks only their own benefit, if each one of you insists on breaking the line, then just as a colony of ants would collapse without order, your family will fail to thrive without unity. 2. Warning about neglect in your home. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most striking realities about ants is that they do not enter a place without reason. They are not like flies that roam randomly. They are purposeful creatures, moving with direction, guided by a sense of survival and order that Allah has placed within them. When you see ants in your home, it is usually because something has been neglected. Perhaps there are crumbs on the floor. Perhaps sugar was spilled but not wiped away. Perhaps food has been left uncovered. Or perhaps there are small cracks and gaps in your home that were never repaired. Ants always look for openings, and when they find one, they take advantage of it. This in itself is a powerful reminder from Allah Almighty about what neglect can lead to in our own lives. If you reflect on it carefully, you will realize that neglect is one of the greatest doors to harm, both physically and spiritually. Just as neglecting a small crumb can invite an entire colony of ants into your home, neglecting small duties in your daily life can invite much bigger problems into your existence. If you neglect your salah, it is only a matter of time before shaitan finds his way into your heart. If you neglect the Qur'an, your soul becomes weak and your vision of life becomes clouded. If you neglect your children, you may later witness them walking paths that bring you nothing but sadness. If you neglect your marriage, you will find that love, mercy, and compassion between you and your spouse slowly wither away. And if you neglect your own self, your mind, your health, your spiritual well-being, you may find yourself consumed by anxiety, stress, or even illness. Neglect, brothers and sisters, is often the beginning of destruction. Ants remind us that even something as tiny as a crumb, when left unattended, becomes a source of attraction for an entire army of creatures. In the same way, sins may appear small and you may tell yourself, it is just one missed prayer, it is just one bad word, it is just one small mistake. But those neglected sins pile up, they attract more, and soon what started as something tiny becomes an overwhelming force that takes over your life. Just like ants, sins come in numbers. One leads to another, and before you know it, your heart is surrounded, your faith is weakened, and your connection with Allah is distant. When ants rush into your kitchen, notice what they rush toward. They rush toward what is exposed, not what is protected. Food that is covered, sealed, and cared for is safe from them. But the crumbs, the spills, the neglected pieces, those are what invite them. Spiritually, the same is true for your heart and soul. A heart that is covered with dhikr, with remembrance of Allah, with Qur'an and Salah is protected. It is shielded. Ants of sin and whispers of shaitan cannot easily invade it. But a heart that is left exposed through negligence, a heart where the remembrance of Allah is absent, where gratitude is missing, where Salah is ignored, that heart becomes like an uncovered plate of food. It attracts every form of harm. This is why our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us about small but powerful acts of protection. He told us to say Bismillah before eating, before entering our homes, before covering our utensils at night. He instructed us to close our doors, to cover our food, to be mindful even of simple daily acts. Why? Because negligence invites harm. And sometimes that harm is not just ants or insects. It is the harm of jinn, the harm of shaitan, or the harm of losing the barakah in your home. So my brothers and sisters, the next time you see ants in your home, don't just think of spraying them with chemicals or sweeping them away. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is Allah reminding me of here? Am I neglecting something in my life? Am I neglecting my prayers? Am I neglecting my relationship with Allah? Am I neglecting my responsibilities as a parent, a spouse, or a child? Am I neglecting the blessings that Allah has given me? Just as you cannot leave crumbs lying around if you want to keep ants away, you cannot leave sins lying around in your heart if you want peace in your life. You must clean them up one by one. You must repent sincerely, seek forgiveness, and renew your connection with Allah. The home that is cleaned regularly will not attract ants, and the heart that is cleaned regularly with istighfar will not attract sins. And remember, neglect begins with the small things. A single crumb may not seem like much, but it can attract an army. A single sin may not seem like much, but it can lead to a path of destruction. So take heed from the ants. Allah sends them to your home as a reminder. Never underestimate the power of neglect, because what you ignore today may become the very thing that destroys your peace tomorrow. 3. A call to humility. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful yet striking lessons we learn from ants is humility. These are creatures so small that most of us don't even notice them until they disturb us. You can step on them without even realizing it. You can sweep them away with the flick of your hand, and yet Allah has placed within them strength, resilience, and discipline that amazes even scientists. They can carry many times their own body weight. They can work tirelessly without complaint, and they can build vast colonies that survive for years beneath the surface of the earth. And all of this is achieved by tiny creatures that many of us consider insignificant. When ants enter your home, Allah may be reminding you of how small you truly are and how powerful He is. As human beings, we sometimes fall into arrogance. We think to ourselves, I am in control of my home, my wealth, my future, my health. But when Allah sends ants into your home, these tiny beings can disrupt your comfort, crawl over your food, and remind you that you are not as powerful as you think. If something so small can walk into your house without your permission, then what does that say about the reality of your control? It means that ultimate control is with Allah alone, and you and I are nothing more than His servants who depend on Him for every breath. Ants teach us that humility is not weakness, it is strength. Look at them. They live without pride, without seeking attention, without desiring recognition. They work silently, they work consistently, and they never fight for the spotlight. Yet because of this humility, they thrive. In contrast, human beings often destroy themselves with arrogance. We want to be noticed, we want to be praised, we want to be above others. And in doing so, we forget that everything we have is from Allah and can be taken away in an instant. If you reflect on your own life, you will realize that arrogance never brings lasting peace. The wealthy man who boasts about his money is never satisfied, always wanting more. The powerful man who boasts about his authority is always afraid of losing it. The person who looks down on others eventually finds themselves alone. But the humble person, like the ant, lives in peace, contributes quietly, and earns the love of people and the pleasure of Allah. My brothers and sisters, Allah tells us in the Qur'an that He does not love the arrogant and the boastful. He reminds us to walk humbly on the earth, to lower our wings of mercy to those around us, and to never think we are greater than others. When you see an ant crawling on your floor, think about this. In the sight of Allah, you and I are no bigger compared to His universe than that ant is compared to us. The stars, the planets, the galaxies, all of these are creations of Allah that dwarf us completely. If we are nothing compared to them, how then can we allow pride to live in our hearts? Ants remind us that true greatness belongs to Allah alone. They show us that the strongest communities are those built on humility, not arrogance. They teach us that even the smallest creatures can achieve greatness when they remain humble, united and consistent. And when they enter your home, Allah is perhaps giving you a personal reminder. Remove pride, remove arrogance and live with humility. So my beloved brothers and sisters, do not wait for humiliation to come before you become humble. Learn humility from the smallest of creatures. Just as the ant works tirelessly without recognition, be someone who serves quietly, who prays sincerely, who helps others without expecting applause. Because the reality is, just as you can crush an ant without effort, Allah can bring down any human being no matter how powerful they believe themselves to be. And just as the ant survives by remaining humble and disciplined, you too will survive the tests of this world when you remember that you are nothing without Allah and everything with Him. 4. A sign to reflect on provision. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you look closely at ants, you will notice that they are always moving, always working, always striving. They do not sit idle, they do not complain about how small they are, and they do not wait for food to come to them while they sleep. Instead, they go out every single day, leaving their nest with effort and determination, searching for sustenance. And subhanallah, they always manage to find something, even if it is small. Ants remind us that rizq, our provision, is written by Allah, but at the same time we are required to strive for it. Allah Almighty tells us in the Qur'an, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision. Every single being, from the largest animal to the tiniest insect, is guaranteed its sustenance by Allah. But notice how ants do not just sit in their holes waiting for food to drop from the sky. They go out in search of it, they move tirelessly, and they trust that they will find something. This is a deep lesson for us as believers. Rizq is guaranteed, yes, but you and I must still take the means. We cannot sit at home expecting food to appear on our tables if we are not willing to work, to plan and to strive. When ants enter your home, it may be Allah's way of reminding you that you must reflect on your own efforts toward provision. Are you being lazy? Are you neglecting your responsibilities, waiting for success to come without putting in the necessary work? Are you relying only on people, forgetting that true sustenance comes from Allah? Just as the ant leaves its nest with trust in Allah and effort in its legs, we too must leave our homes each morning with hard work and tawakkul. Think about it, brothers and sisters. The ant does not gather food just for itself. It works for the entire colony. In the same way, your efforts are not just for you, they are for your family, your community, and even for future generations. A man who works honestly feeds his children, his wife, his parents, and earns reward for every morsel. A woman who strives in her responsibilities, whether in her home or in her career, provides comfort and stability to those around her. Effort is not wasted in the sight of Allah. Now, reflect on another aspect of the ant's behavior. It does not gather food only for today. It stores food for tomorrow, preparing for harder times. This is a sign for us to plan wisely. Do not live only for the moment without thinking of the future. Save, prepare, and be responsible with the blessings Allah gives you. How many of us waste money when it is abundant, only to cry when hardship comes? How many of us spend recklessly, forgetting that provision is a trust from Allah that must be handled with care? Ants remind us, whatever Allah gives you today, do not just consume it blindly. Use some, share some, and save some. This is the balance that brings barakah. Ants also teach us that provision comes in different amounts. One ant may carry a tiny grain while another carries something larger, but not a single one complains. They work with what they find and they keep moving. Compare this to us. When Allah gives us little, we complain. When He gives us more, we still complain, wanting what others have. The ant never stops to argue, why does he have more than me? It simply does its part. This is a reminder that whatever Allah has written for you will reach you, no matter how small or how great, so long as you make the effort. Brothers and sisters, when you see ants entering your home, take it as a moment to ask yourself, am I putting in the effort like they do? Or am I waiting for things to happen without action? Am I trusting in Allah while working? Or am I only complaining about my situation? The ant reminds us that success comes with consistency, patience, and trust in Allah's plan. Rizq is not only about money, It is about health, knowledge, children, peace, and countless blessings that money cannot buy. If Allah can feed an army of ants hidden beneath the ground, then surely He can feed you. But just as the ant never sits idle, neither should you. So the lesson is clear: strive with all your effort, but keep your heart connected to Allah. Work like the ant, quietly, patiently, and consistently, and then place your trust in the one who provides. Because rizq does not come from your boss, your business, or your customers. It comes only from Allah. Ants may enter your home to remind you that provision is guaranteed, but effort is required and gratitude must always follow. 5. A warning against wasting. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the main reasons ants enter our homes is because they are attracted to food that has been left exposed or wasted. They rush toward crumbs, leftover pieces, and tiny particles that you and I may not even notice. For them, what we ignore becomes their treasure. Now reflect on this. How often do we waste the blessings Allah has given us without even thinking twice? We drop food, we leave plates unfinished, we throw away what could have been eaten, and sometimes we treat the provision of Allah with such carelessness that it becomes a sign of our ingratitude. The ants come to remind us that wasting is a serious matter in the eyes of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad taught us to respect even a single morsel of food. If a piece of bread falls, pick it up, clean it, and eat it, for it carries barakah. Yet today we live in times where people waste food not out of necessity but out of habit. Restaurants throw away tons of food every day. Households dispose of leftovers without thought. And individuals act as though Allah's provision is unlimited. But the truth is, wastefulness is not just about food. It is a mindset. When we waste food, we also waste time, wealth, energy, and opportunities. Allah warns us in the Qur'an, indeed the wasteful are brothers of the devils. Think about that. To waste the blessings Allah gives you is to resemble the behavior of shaitan, who is ungrateful and arrogant. Ants, by contrast, collect and preserve what we waste. They never leave a crumb behind. They see value in what we ignore. Perhaps Allah sends them into your home to remind you, stop wasting, stop living with arrogance, and start appreciating even the smallest of His blessings. Let us think practically for a moment. How many times do we open the fridge, see it full, and still complain that there is nothing to eat? How many times do we buy more than we need, only to let it spoil? How many times do we ignore the poor and the hungry while we carelessly throw away food? Ants teach us that nothing should be treated as worthless. What is small to you may be life-saving to someone else, and what you throw away today may be the very thing you beg for tomorrow when times of hardship arrive. Brothers and sisters, wastefulness is not limited to food. Some of us waste money on luxuries we do not need, while others in the world cannot afford their daily bread. Some waste water, letting taps run without concern, even though the Prophet, peace be upon him, forbade wasting water even while performing wudu at a flowing river. Some waste their health by indulging in harmful habits. Some waste their knowledge by not practicing it. And some waste their time by filling it with meaningless pursuits. Every form of waste is a sign of ingratitude, and ingratitude leads to the removal of blessings. So when you see ants gathering around crumbs in your home, ask yourself, am I being careless with Allah's blessings? Am I wasting food while there are people starving? Am I wasting wealth while others struggle to survive? Am I wasting opportunities that Allah has given me by being lazy and neglectful? The ants are a mirror showing us our wastefulness. They make us realize that even what seems insignificant has value, and that every blessing deserves to be protected, appreciated, and used wisely. Remember, my brothers and sisters, Allah does not like those who are wasteful. If we honor His blessings, He increases them. If we disrespect them, they may be taken away. Ants may come to your home to remind you of this truth. Stop wasting, start appreciating, and learn to value even the smallest crumb of rizq, for it is a trust from Allah, a reminder of Allah's power. My beloved brothers and sisters, perhaps the most powerful reminder that ants carry into our homes is the reminder of Allah's absolute control and power over everything. When you see these tiny creatures marching on your floor, crawling over your walls, or gathering around a piece of food, remember that they are not there by accident. They are part of Allah's creation, and they move only by His command. Not a single ant takes a step, not a single ant discovers food, and not a single ant enters your home except that Allah allows it. This realization should immediately humble us and make us reflect on how little control we actually have in our lives. Think about it for a moment. You can have a strong lock on your door. You can have the best security system. You can close your windows and seal your house. And yet something as small as an ant can enter without your permission and disturb your peace. If Allah can allow such tiny creatures to enter your home, then what makes us think we are beyond His reach? We often live as if we are in control of our health, our wealth, our families, our future. But ants are a sign that even the smallest of his creation can disrupt our comfort. If he can use something so insignificant in size to remind us of his power, imagine what he could do with his greater creation if he willed. Allah's power is such that he can test you with something massive like an earthquake, or something tiny like an ant bite. He can bless you with something as small as a drop of rain, or he can hold it back and leave entire nations in drought. He can grant you peace through the smallest of means, or he can shake your life with the simplest of events. The presence of ants in your home is not just a nuisance, it is a subtle reminder that you are never independent of Allah, and that your safety, your comfort and your blessings are entirely in His hands. Now reflect on the stories we are told in the Qur'an. In Surah An-Naml, the ant, Allah gives us the story of Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him, who had an army of men, jinn and birds at his command, yet even he was taught a lesson through the ants. When his army marched, an ant warned its colony to return to their homes, so that they would not be crushed. And Prophet Sulaiman, if a prophet of Allah who commanded nations was reminded of humility and gratitude through an ant, then who are we to ignore them when they appear in our homes? Brothers and sisters, the ants remind us of Allah's greatness by showing us our smallness. You may think of yourself as strong, wealthy, educated or powerful, but the truth is that you are fragile. Your life can change in a second. Your health can vanish in a moment. Your wealth can disappear overnight. And sometimes Allah uses the smallest signs like ants to remind you not to place your trust in yourself, but to place your trust in Him alone. When ants enter your home, ask yourself, what is Allah showing me? Is He reminding me that I am not in control? Is He reminding me that my blessings can be disturbed at any time? Is He reminding me to be humble and to recognize His greatness? These tiny creatures which we can crush under our feet are still part of Allah's mighty creation, and they move with a discipline that should shame us. They do not rebel, they do not disobey, they do not act outside the system Allah has placed them in. They live in constant submission to their purpose, and yet we, the ones who are honored with intellect and faith, often fail to live in obedience to the one who created us. So the next time you see ants in your home, let it not just be an irritation, let it be a moment of remembrance. Say to yourself, Subhanallah, Allah is showing me His power even through these small creatures. He can allow them to disturb me, or He can keep them away. He can use them to remind me of discipline, provision, humility and gratitude. And above all, He can show me that His power covers everything in existence, from the greatest of galaxies to the smallest of insects. My beloved brothers and sisters, the ants remind us of a simple but profound truth. Allah is in control, and we are always in need of Him. So let them humble you, let them soften your heart, and let them push you closer to Allah Almighty. A reminder of patience and perseverance. My beloved brothers and sisters, if there is one quality that ants display in abundance, it is patience. Watch them closely and you will see creatures that never rush blindly, never give up easily, and never complain about their struggles. When they face an obstacle, they do not stop and say, this is too hard. They try again and again, climbing over, going around, or finding another way. When food is too heavy for one, another comes to help. And if they do not succeed the first time, they return again and again until the task is complete. Allah may be reminding us through their presence in our homes that patience and perseverance are the keys to success in both this world and the hereafter. How many of us give up the moment life becomes difficult? How many of us abandon our goals when we face the first obstacle? How many of us lose hope in Allah's mercy after one hardship or trial? Yet the ant, a tiny creature without speech or wealth or strength, keeps moving forward, never allowing difficulty to stop it. If Allah has placed such perseverance in a creature so small, what then about you and me, human beings blessed with intellect, strength and faith? Should we not be more resilient, more patient and more determined to fulfill our responsibilities and to remain firm on the path of Allah? Patience, my brothers and sisters, is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It is about continuing to strive while trusting in Allah's plan. Look at the ants. They do not sit in their nests waiting for food to fall from the sky. They go out every single day facing dangers and challenges, and yet they remain consistent. Some days they find a lot, some days they find only crumbs, but they never stop. This is the meaning of sabr in our lives too. Some days you will have plenty, other days you will have little. Some days life will feel easy, other days it will test every part of you. But the believer, like the ant, continues to move, continues to strive, continues to trust that Allah will provide. Ants also teach us the power of perseverance in community. One ant alone may struggle to carry a grain, but when many gather together, they can lift food far greater than their size. This is a reminder that patience is easier when you surround yourself with good people. When you are alone, you may give up, But when you have companions who encourage you, remind you of Allah, and help you in times of need, you find strength to continue. This is why the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us the importance of Jama'ah, of congregation, of being with people who remind you of Allah. Just as ants survive by working together, we too can persevere through life struggles when we remain connected to our families, our communities, and our masajid. Now reflect on this, brothers and sisters. Ants are creatures that live for the future. They store food patiently, preparing for times when resources may be scarce. They do not consume everything they find at once. They know that hardship may come, and so they remain disciplined in their patience. Allah may be sending them into your home to remind you to think ahead, to be patient with His timing, to trust that even if your dua is not answered today, He is storing something better for you tomorrow. Patience is not about getting what you want immediately. It is about continuing to believe and strive until Allah's wisdom unfolds. So the next time you see ants gathering in your home, think of them not only as tiny workers, but also as teachers of patience. They are showing you that perseverance in small steps leads to big results. They are reminding you that challenges are not the end, but the beginning of growth. And they are calling you to live with sabr, not passive waiting, but active perseverance, trusting in the one who never fails to reward the patient. A reminder of accountability and hidden deeds. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most striking qualities of ants is that they are often unnoticed. They move quietly, they work silently, and they live beneath the surface. You may not even realize they are there until you see them appear in numbers, or until you notice the traces of what they have been carrying away piece by piece. This is a powerful reminder from Allah about the reality of accountability and the hidden deeds that we perform in our lives. Just as ants work in silence where no human eye may see them, your deeds, whether good or bad, are being recorded at every moment, even when no one else is watching. Allah has appointed angels over you who do not miss a single word you speak or a single action you take. Many of us live as though only the public moments matter. When people are watching, we pray. When people are listening, we speak kindly. When the community sees us, we act generously. But the real test of sincerity is how you live when no one is watching except Allah. The ants, which move unseen and unnoticed, are like a mirror showing you that what is hidden is just as important, if not more important, than what is visible. Think about it, brothers and sisters. A person may appear righteous in the masjid, yet wasteful, careless, or even unjust at home. Another may show kindness in public, but harbor envy, arrogance, or cruelty in private. Just as ants carry away crumbs silently, your hidden actions are being carried to your record every day. On the day of judgment, what you thought was small and insignificant may appear as a mountain before you. Allah warns us in the Qur'an, so whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see it. If even the smallest deed is recorded, then how can we live without reflecting on our hidden habits? The ants also remind us that accountability does not come suddenly. It builds up slowly. You do not notice one ant carrying a crumb, but if they keep working silently day after day, soon you realize that a large amount of food has disappeared. In the same way, your deeds accumulate. A single missed salah, a single lie, a single act of neglect may feel like nothing, but repeated daily, it becomes a burden on your soul. Likewise, a single smile, a single charity, a single prayer in the night may feel small, but done consistently, it becomes a mountain of reward in the sight of Allah. When ants enter your home, they may be a reminder that nothing is truly hidden. They come from beneath the floor, through cracks and unseen places, and suddenly they are in front of you. This is how your deeds will appear on the day of judgment. What you thought was private, what you thought was hidden, will come out into the open, laid bare before you and before Allah Almighty. If this thought brings you fear, then let it also bring you hope. Just as sins are recorded, good deeds are too. Your quiet acts of kindness, your silent du'as, your hidden charity, your unseen struggles for the sake of Allah, none of them are wasted. Allah sees them all, just as He sees the ant crawling silently in the dark. So brothers and sisters, ants remind us that accountability is real. They teach us that even the smallest of actions matter. They show us that what is hidden today will be revealed tomorrow. When you see them in your home, think of your own private life. Ask yourself, what deeds am I carrying quietly into my record? Am I building a colony of good deeds that will stand for me? Or am I gathering sins that will testify against me? Ants in their silence are reminding you to purify what is hidden, to live with sincerity, and to remember that Allah is watching always, even when no one else is. A reminder of structure, planning, and order in life. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest lessons we learn from ants is their ability to live with structure, with planning, and with order. When you look at them, you do not see random movements. You do not see one ant going north, another going south, and another wandering aimlessly. You see lines, you see systems, you see discipline. If one discovers food, it leaves behind a trail that others follow. If they face an obstacle, they do not scatter in panic. They reorganize themselves and find a way around it. Their entire existence is based on planning, cooperation, and order. Allah may send them into your home to remind you that your own life requires the same structure if you want to succeed. Too many of us live without planning. We wake up late, we waste hours, we move from one task to another without purpose, and then we complain that life is not going the way we want. But look at the ants. They are small, weak, and fragile, yet because they plan and organize, they achieve greatness far beyond their size. An ant colony can build intricate tunnels underground, create systems for gathering food, and survive entire seasons of hardship because of their planning. If such a tiny creature can achieve so much through discipline, what about us human beings, honored by Allah with intellect, knowledge, and guidance? Should we not live with more order and responsibility? Planning is not just about the dunya. It is also about the akhirah. How many of us plan our careers, our business deals, our weddings, our travels, but fail to plan for the moment when we will stand before Allah? Ants store food in the summer to prepare for the winter, but do we store good deeds in times of ease to prepare for the hardships of the grave and the day of judgment? Ants remind us that foresight is essential. You cannot live only for today, you must also think about tomorrow. And as believers, tomorrow does not only mean next week or next year, it means the hereafter, which is the true life that awaits us. Ants also show us that order brings strength. One ant on its own may be crushed, but a colony working together can move mountains of food. In the same way, when your life has no order, your energy is scattered and you achieve very little. But when you bring discipline to your time, your salah, your studies, your work, and your family life, you begin to see barakah. You may have less time, but because it is structured, it brings more results. You may have fewer resources, but because they are used with order, they bring greater benefit. This is the secret of barakah. Allah places blessing in disciplined effort. My brothers and sisters, reflect on how ants work silently, yet with incredible planning. They do not waste energy moving randomly, and they do not live in chaos. How many of us can say the same about our lives? How many of us spend hours on useless distractions, wasting our health, our youth, and our wealth without structure or direction? The presence of ants in your home may be a gentle reminder from Allah. Bring order into your life before it is too late. Plan your day around your salah, not your salah around your day. Plan your wealth around halal, not around greed. Plan your family life around the Qur'an and Sunnah, not around television and entertainment. Just as ants thrive through structure, you too will thrive when your life is aligned with discipline and the guidance of Allah. So when you see ants crawling in lines, moving in harmony, and living with such incredible order, do not just see insects. See a living lesson. They are telling you that success does not come from chaos but from planning. They are telling you that blessings do not stay with those who waste time but with those who live with discipline. They are telling you that life is short and preparation for the future both in this world and the next is essential. And if creatures as small as ants can live with such order, then surely we as servants of Allah have no excuse to live in disorder. My beloved brothers and sisters, when we look at ants, most of us see only a nuisance. We spray them, sweep them away, or get irritated when they invade our kitchens and our homes. But as believers, we are taught to reflect on everything around us because nothing in creation is without purpose. The Qur'an itself mentions the story of the ants in Surah An-Naml, reminding us that even the smallest creatures can carry great lessons for humanity. These tiny beings which can be crushed under our feet are actually teachers sent by Allah. Through them, Allah reminds us of discipline and unity, warning us against neglect, calling us to humility, teaching us the importance of provision, warning us against waste, showing us His absolute power, teaching us patience and perseverance, reminding us of accountability, and guiding us towards structure and planning in our lives. Each of these lessons may appear small, just as ants appear small, but together they form a powerful reminder of how Allah guides us through His creation. The next time ants enter your home, don't simply see them as a disturbance. See them as a sign. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is Allah telling me through this? Am I being reminded to fix my home and my heart? Am I being shown that my life lacks order and unity? Am I being warned against arrogance, waste, and neglect? Or am I being reminded of Allah's greatness, His power, and my need to live humbly and patiently in this world? Ants live in silence. They move with purpose. They work with consistency. And they obey the order Allah has given them without rebellion. If such tiny creatures can remain disciplined, patient and humble, then what excuse do we who have been given intellect, wealth, knowledge and faith have to live in heedlessness? My brothers and sisters, the world is full of signs from Allah. The sky, the stars, the mountains, the oceans, and yes, even the ants that crawl across your floor. Every one of them is reminding you, return to Allah, live with gratitude, live with humility, live with discipline, and prepare for the day when you will stand before your Creator. So the next time you see ants in your home, remember, it is not just an invasion, it is an invitation to reflect, to improve, and to reconnect with Allah Almighty. May Allah open our hearts to take lessons from even the smallest of His creation. May He grant us the wisdom to avoid neglect and waste. May He fill our lives with patience and perseverance. And may He grant us the humility to always recognize His greatness and our dependence on Him.